I should be back now at some point here. My computer felt like taking a break. But yeah, fishing mechanic. Fishing logic. And we're going to keep it simple. I don't know who's here yet. Sparky Snickle was here at some point. Wow. ERA was here at some point. That's pretty crazy. The Oaks on you is good to see you. Jazz Wolf, thanks for hopping into chat. Sparky Snickle. ERA. Wow. All right, simple fishing logic. What should we do here? All right, so which way are we spawning? So yes, we're gonna be like over here maybe. It's behind us. So let's make the water north of us. Let's just make a little swimming pool, I think. Or maybe we could go like, just for now, like a longer one. And we have 3 different distances. But also at the same time, I want to keep it simple. So I was thinking we could create like different. No, it wasn't your internet, sorry. I was wondering, but also at the same time, I want to give the player an experience of fishing and not be too simple. So I wanted to open up like 5 different fish types, depending on the bait you use or where you cast it or how good your cast is. Stuff like that. So what could we use as a fishing pole and basic assets? Fishing rod. There we go. And this fishing rod has animations. Launched and idle. Launched. Doesn't look launched. Idle. Huh. Launched? Oh, okay. So yeah, if you're going all out, you definitely want to make your own assets probably so that they tell the story you want. But let's say that the fishing pole is right here and we're going to just cast it deep, middle, or short, something like that. So what could we use as bait or a hook? Um, play game for fun. What's up? I'm doing good. Just having some fun in GameMaker, thinking of some fishing logic, or just like a way to think about fishing logic. A first idea to think about fishing logic. A butterfly. How big are these? Let's just use a butterfly for now. Do you have an idol? Oh, that is your idol. Okay, maybe not. Is there like a bug? Let me look through this quick. What could we use for this? A Care Bear? The Lily Pup? That looks like a Sap Puppers. That Pokemon. Fish with a crab? The crab catches them for you. Could use the soccer ball. Call it the bobber for now. A soccer ball bobber. Otherwise, I'm just going to use concrete tiles or poles. But yeah, I'm going to spend a few streams messing around on this, probably going back and forth with the person who asked for help. And also lots of stuff for the pickaxe master to work on. So we'll be doing streams probably mostly working on our next game for the Builders Challenge, which is going to be like classic Misty Mountain, basically. A single player Misty Mountain experience, like how it was in the original days. So there'll be a lot to work on. It'll be fun to stream that stuff and keep me honest, working on it. So we might go back and forth to, I mean, they may really want this to be multiplayer game, but I think if you're just starting out, getting experienced at GameMaker, you shouldn't start with a multiplayer game. Unless you envision like a parkour or like a battle game or a PvP game. If that's you want that to be your first game, then you probably have to make multiplayer. But just like a fishing game can be a really cool single player experience. So I would encourage your first games be single player probably. All right, so let's build a system out of this stuff here, I think. So I want there to be like a short cast, a medium cast, and a long cast. So how do we do that? Well, mostly just on the back end, but I would also like there to be a visual storytelling representation of it. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to pretend that these soccer balls are bobbers. And we're going to do a projectile on them, which is behavior. Projectile. And so we can say that this is going to have less force or more of a trajectory to end up in a shorter spot. So let's go more trajectory and less force and put it like right there for fun. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, so I don't want this thing to explode afterwards on destroy. I don't want to destroy it. Well, I do want to destroy it at some point. It's going to be like more of a splash, a water splash. So we're going to do destroy, but I don't want it to destroy after collision. So I'm not sure exactly how to pull this off, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so that just goes away. So I'll have to build my own, which is easy. Okay, so we'll just use these trails for now. Message on collision. Select the message to send if a collision is scored. Destroy after collision is what we just turned off. Apply gravity. Look at destination true. All right, we might be doing some more stuff on the back end, but this looks pretty good. So it's going to go out there and it's going to stop when it hits the water, I hope. Start with experience. Let's test it out. So you cast it and it's like, whoop. Oh no, it stops at the water. It goes through the water, I mean. So, okay. Let's put invisible blockers on so it has something to hit. Why didn't you go? Oh, and then it fell through. Why? 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 Why do you do this to me? Okay. So it seems to fall through things. Let's see here. Let's actually go back to water. Oops. Let's try this blocker. It's a little thicker. Maybe it's not going to fall through. Let's first try it underneath. the water. That sucks. It's kind of annoying. You could also just make like you could make your own animated decorations to do all this stuff so that you don't have to like hack around with something that you want to work a certain way. But let's just for now say that they're colored different blocks because that's where you're aiming for or something. This is the first section you're aiming for. All right. So that is the easy projectile bobber. Something to start naming. And this is going to have to be a preset. And so for every one of these presets that we spawn out, we're going to need to have an asset spawner. So we'll switch this over to an asset spawner, soccer ball, and I don't know what the message is going to be, but this is the easy projectile bobber asset spawner. I'm planning on, what's up, Nazman? It's good to see you. I'm planning on sending this logic over. And if anybody else wants this logic too, just let me know and I'll send it over to you. Be working on it in a few days and just see what kind of fishing logic we can come up with. Whether it be a good idea or not, I don't know, but you do start learning by just getting started. So, what I want to give myself is an opportunity to make a back end of RNG and like interesting back end RNG for just like a fishing experience. So I'm trying to kind of give myself a palette on the front end to use, like a mechanics that kind of like give me an opportunity to set up a back end table of RNG. So we're working on. So the fishing rod is what we're going to interact with, and something that is going to keep this a little easier if we do single player is we just use an asker on this. Whoops. For now, definitely for now. And so this is your fishing pole. So let's just start simple with like, how hard would you like to cast your fishing pole? Easy, medium, whoops, easy, medium, or hard. Something like that for now. And this can definitely just lead as can be the foundation that could lead to other logic. It doesn't have to stay an asker, but I'm going to try to keep it as simple as I can. So you walk up to here, you interact with it. It's going to ask her that says, do you want to cast it easy, medium, or hard? So we got the easy one. We need a medium and a hard one. But for now, I'm just going to do the easy. So I want to cast it easy. You can even like have the game unlock medium and hard as you go on. Maybe you need more strength first. Something like that. So another thing I was thinking about is using bait. Do you need bait to cast your fishing pole? Like, do you need worms? Do you have to buy worms? Can you run out of worms? Can you use things other than worms to make your chance better? Can you use things other than worms to unlock new fish types that you can catch? So, what's the system for applying bait to your fishing pole? I don't really know yet. But we probably should think of an easy way to do it. So just have it be the next asker. For now, we can just pretend you have unlimited stuff. So it'll be like, do you want to cast it easy, medium, or hard? And then it'll be like, what bait do you want to use? Or like a lure, or I don't know, dude. But first it's going to ask you cast it easy, medium, or hard, and then it's going to say what bait do you want to use, and we'll have to figure it out. Sounds kind of complicated. And then we'll have schools of fish that you can catch depending on everything. Do you catch them for real? If you're just doing everything as like text based, that would be really easy. But if you're going to do physical representations in the game, then you just have to like build systems. Are they collecting the fish that get pulled out of the water? Are you just like showing them the fish and then taking it off the screen? Which would probably be the easiest thing. The best thing for the game to run for a long time. And then we do the weight of the fish. And yeah, everything that you catch, we're just going to add up to weight for now. You could also get very like into keeping track of each one, like with Misty Mountain, like how we keep track of all the different resources. Gold, silver, emeralds, rubies, diamonds. You can keep track of all that stuff like fish too. So, let's see here. I'm just stalling while I'm wrapping my head around what I want to do here. Basically. So the projectile, it's going to be an easiest. We're going to have a worm. And it's like, boo, and then it sits here. The easy projectile bobber. And this is, let's think of the message. It's going to be like, cast easy, yes. Probably something like that. And so once this preset, I'm gonna do a little testing. It's kind of fun. I don't really mess with mechanics anymore. I usually just mess around in the rules. So this can be kind of frustrating when you want these things to work properly, or the way that you want them to work, or figuring out cool things to do. So let's say that this shoots over here and it's going to land on this block, and then it's going to wait. And it's your job to, like, usually when you're fishing, you wait for the bobber to move, right? You're waiting for the bobber to move, and then you, like, yank it to try to hook the fish in the mouth. Then you start reeling. And I want to keep it simple, but yeah, I would like to keep maybe some sort of visual effect on this, that when it's ready, that's when you have to tug it. So I'm hoping that I can put a visual effect on this projectile that is not enabled at start, but it turns on when it's like cast easy fish now, or go. I'm gonna use go because it's shorter. So it's gonna be a message like cast easy fish go, probably. And then it's gonna be like a water splash, hopefully here. Let's see. The water splash that plays. So this is what the bobber around the soccer ball will do. And that's your timed, that it's like, okay, now I need to pull it. If you pull it too soon, you'll kill it. The bobber, you won't catch a fish. If you pull it too late, anything that happens, you pull it too soon, pull it at the right time, you pull it too late, then this bobber disappears. But this thing goes off right at the right time. Cast easy fish go. Okay. And so we're also going to need a plant. And this kill message is going to be, let's say that it's cast easy fish kill. My messages aren't always perfect, but I try to structure them in a way that you'll see. You'll see how it all is going to work out a little bit, but coming up with messages that make sense over the whole system, over the whole game, it's a little tricky, but I kind of have my system that I've worked up, and you just kind of invent something at the beginning and then just stick with it. So cast easy fish, go. What did I say this one was? Cast easy, yes. So I probably shouldn't have said fish. Cast easy kill. This is bobber kill, probably. Cast easy kill. Bobber kill. I'll probably use that message later for something else, the fish one. But if you have messages that you don't like, you can hop into your settings, go to messages, all the messages are here, and you can delete ones that you have created, not ones that are part of it, but messages that you've created. So like, I'm thinking I don't want to use cast easy fish kill, so I'm like, let's just delete that for now so it's not confusing later, which is a good habit that I don't do enough. Cast easy kill. Cast easy fish go. You can make fishing as complicated or not complicated as you want, for sure. All right, let's save over this projectile. So I made changes to this preset. So I need to save over the preset if I want those changes to be in there. And then I can delete it. Okay, so you walk up to the thing, you walk up to the fishing pole, say I want to cast it easy. I'm not even going to worry about the bait right now. But if you do want to do stuff like that, it is usually best to start with everything. It's generally not the best idea to like go back and try to add a different system into something from the beginning, in my experience. But so if you want to do bait, you probably should start working on bait at the beginning. So you walk up here, you say easy, and then I want the HUD. I want to use the HUD to like to go from like 0 to 100%, because when you're casting, usually the first thing is like a timing event. So you cast with a timing event, you wait for the bobber, there's a timing event, and then do you reel it in or not? I'm not sure. Probably should reel it in. Cast easy. Cast medium. Cast hard. So those are like the trunks of the messages here. And then let's just put it in for the sake of me not going crazy, actually. Yeah, I'll just set a good example and use logic assets. Bait asker for easy. So we're going to have another asker here. What's a tackle box? What bait should I use? And then for now, we'll just have worms. Cast easy worms. And message required. Cast easy. I don't know. I might be making it too complicated. Well, let's see here. For using askers, we can send player needed messages to the rules. So what do I want to do to create a timing event for fishing? Let's try to do it. 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 So nowadays we have these new boards, which is pretty cool. So let's rename this one to the on player join board. And I'm going to do that because there's a rule in the events called on player join. So I just create a message called on player join. And we're going to use that message to get things going if we need to. and also give us a HUD so we can start keeping track of things that we want to. If we're trying to keep an eye on variables, we can do that here. This is for like testing and stuff. And anything else we want to come back to. So now I'm going to create a new board right underneath this, and let's call it, it's like the easy cast system. When we cast it easy. And so when we decide what bait we want to cast, I want to create something on the HUD that counts from 0 to 100, 0 to 100, 0 to 100, and uses the new HUD animations to like show you when it's green, when you should click. That's what I want to do. So let's actually create a new board. Let's just rename this for now and say that this is the um, cast HUD real time events. I don't know. So we're gonna make a rule with HUD. We're gonna have a lot of HUDs. This is really complicated. I do not want to make things complicated. But it's okay. We'll get there. It's just for fun. So the required message here, while it's counting up, it's going to get to like 80. It's going to be like red, yellow, green, red, yellow, green, red, yellow, green. So what if we go cast? Or potentially, yeah. I might have just rethought things a little bit. Cast start. How about just cast HUD 0.0. And we'll put the cast power like on the top in the middle. And so when it hits 0.0, oh yeah, we need a variable. We're going to make a decimal number. That can be your player number. Doesn't really matter. This is a single player game. But in case it's going to be multiplayer someday, we're going to set it to a player variable. And the name for this will be casting real time or something, so I can just remember what it is. We'll see, 0. Ah, shoot. Did not mean to do that. Casting real time. Create. So casting real time, it's going to be large, and it's going to be critical. Animate, yes. And I guess this would be your power then, huh? And this number would determine if you go easy, medium, or hard. That makes a lot more sense. And that makes a lot more sense. So what's your icon for power? An explosion? There's nobody like flexing. Just the sandbox logo? Just your face? Oh, that's be a good one. Like the speedometer. Which I used to call a speedometer sometimes when I would read it. Which is pretty funny. Alright, so your power. And we're definitely going to show this as not a value, but a percentage. So the max is going to be 100. Value. Percentage. We're going to show it as a percentage. 0 to 100. Okay, this is making a lot more sense. So we're going to use the power to decide if it's an easy, medium, or hard cast. That's what we're going to do. So the flow would be more get the bait and then decide the power, and then it would go the distance. It makes more sense that way for sure. So how does this work though? It's a good question. It's a really good question. Casting real time. So this is just the HUD part, and we're also going to need math. Not just that kind of math. We're going to need add, subtract continuously math. And so when this 0.0 message comes out, we're going to start this. So we need a variable just to make this rule work. We'll call it cast real time. Casting. Cast real time. Cast real time float, which is another word for decimal. Cast real time time. I know that's over there too, but I'm just doing my thing. So we'll say every 0.1 second, we're going to add a certain amount to our float. We're going to add 0.33. Million value is 0, and the maximum is a 100. I don't know the stop stuff yet, but like... Let's just wait. It'll come to us later. We also need a continuous checker on this rule. So this is going to be a pretty heavy thing. It's another reason I want to do it as a single player game. But if we're going to hit this with the same message, and we're going to say, let's go ahead and check this float at all times until it is greater than 80. And once this turns on, it stops checking until it gets this message again. So once it sends its message, it'll turn off. Once it hears this required message again, it'll turn on again until these conditions are met. So when it's greater than 80, we're going to say cast HUD 0.1. Point one. Change it to warning. Point. Oh yeah, we have to do cast HUD 0.2, and so that's when it's going to turn positive again. So we'll say when it gets greater than 95, we're going to do cast HUD 0.2. And then when it gets greater than 100, we're going to go back to cast HUD 0.0. New board. Casting system. Let's think. So for now, let's just say cast easy, because this will all be changed, so sorry, but we'll just say this is cast worm. And then we'll send that message, keep it in the rules, and start the 0.0, cast HUD 0.0. So right from the rod, I can change this and just say we want to cast with a worm. What bait would you like to use? Worm. Cast worm. So hopefully when I walk up there and I cast a worm, I'll see something pop up on my HUD. Oh wait, I forgot to do something. So we'll go back to the HUD real-time events. These are where the rules are for the real-time event. And so also something happens when I get this message. When I get this message, I set it back to 0. So there's a rule. Replace variable values, edit a number. So when we get cast HUD 0.0, we're going to set our float back to 0. So that way it goes 0 to 100, 0 to 100, 0 to 100, 0 to 100, 0 to 100 until we stop it, which I haven't decided that message yet. Let's see if it works. Which bail would you like to use? It's going way too slow. Bait. So it was working, but it was going way too slow. So we're going to take this and change it to a 3 and change, wait, let's keep this 0.33 and let's change this to 0.01. Maybe. That's way faster. I don't even know if that'll work. What bait would you like to use? Which bait? Okay, that's still too slow, yeah. It needs to go 0, full. And it also didn't go back to 0. So cast HUD 0 is getting turned on when we say we want the worm right now. Set it back to 0. Huh. Huh. What's up, woke zombie? Hope you're doing good. I'm just thinking of some fishing logic for fun today. Somebody reached out asking for some help. So we're just doing like, I don't know, messing around with fishing logic. I'm probably making it too complicated though. I hope you're good though. Hopefully I stream some more here. We're going to be working on some pickaxe master maps and stuff. So I should have a lot of content to be streaming. If you want to hang out, be on the lookout. Yeah. I think GameMaker could do a good fishing game for sure. 100%. Excuse me. Let's just change this message to say cast HUD dot reset instead. Let's do a reset. Dot reset. The reset is what does this. But I was trying to just hit all of these with the same message again. That kind of sucks. So these all have to get turned on again, so let's try to do that. First time they get turned on with this message, and the next time they get turned on with the reset. Why are we doing this? so that the player can sit there and decide how much power they want to put into their cast. Let's change it to 3. All right, so let's say I go up here and I got it all set up, and I say I want to use my worm bait, so that it's not going back to 0. Wait. Because I have to use a reset. Reset back down to a critical, yeah. And let's also use this thing to just keep an eye on what our float actually is without the percentage. Our float test. Beep, 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 beep. I just want to see the value. Okay. It stopped at 100. Why did you stop at 100? Okay, so continuous. Oh, because I have maximum 100. Idiot. There it is. So yeah, something more like this. It's going a little too fast, though. Let's just say 1. And that's a little too slow, but well, you're getting it. We're getting it. Yep. Ah, change of 2. Okay, so we did all this for what? For what possible reason? Well, so we can stop the power and get a cast out of it. So that's the smarter thing to do. And determining on what the percentage is after you do whatever action we're going to do here, that's how far it gets cast. So it would be cool if we used clicking on the mouse, like left click, right click for things. But if it's a single player, then he'll still swing his sword around, which is kind of dumb. You could use multiplayer instance lock, which I could send out thanks to the woke dude. But the other things you can use 1 through 0. 1 through 0 on the keyboard or clicking. The thing is, like, you want to see doing this stuff. Doesn't really matter. Probably not. So, boop, probably use clicking for fun. So, should I try to build? I think it's just more player friendly to use left click and right click rather than 1 through 0. Not very many people are familiar with pushing 1 through 0 while you're playing games unless you've played like an MMO or something. Or like Fortnite to switch your guns or something, I guess, but. Oh. So, how does this work? How in the world does this work? So, we need to stop the rule and then check it. So, let's say that the casting system is in this other board. So this is throwing over the cast start, which I put as 0.0. I feel like this is still part of this system. So the tricky part with left click and right click is making sure they have the power at the right time, I guess, if you're going to use them for multiple things. I guess I could just always have it stop the rule and check what it's going to be. I'm going to have to build in some stoppers at some point, like maybe some true false or something. Like, is it casting already? Is it already casting? So depending on what state you are in, that's what clicks are going to do. So that's the tricky part. Um, let's just go ahead and create a left click board. What is our left clicks capable of? Let's also create a left click variable. Click like status? I don't know, something like that. Left click status. So there's a rule in here that you can use triggers, and it's right here, mouse input. So let's take a look at mouse input. Nowadays we have to bind a message to it, which is actually helpful in the long term. Which probably I can just use this instead of, because I was thinking I'd have to use a variable, but I might not have to have this. My bad. You can just use these bind and unbind messages. So this is the left click. And for now, it'd be like, we can use this hot 0.0 actually. Description. Determines power. Determines cast power. or just cast power? Choose cast power. Message on down. Okay. Cast left down. Nothing on up. Unbind message. Can I unbind it with itself then? I wonder. Oops. Where is it? Okay, can I unbind it with itself then? Let's see. So I'm going to go back to my real-time event. And we're going to stop this message, stop the rules with cast left down. So the number should stop. This whole system should stop. We should see a number for what the power of the next cast is going to be. %98. 100. Let's go, baby. But yeah, it works. 64. 32. 12. Yeah, it works pretty freaking good. Some easy way to really control this is you just toggle off your starter then, so it can't, you can't interact with it again until the whole system's back to where you want it to be. So I think we have a pretty good start here, hopefully. I just need to take a quick break and I will be right back for like another 50 minutes of streaming. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back for a bit. We'll see if we can catch a fish, maybe, at some point. So, if you're going to have a power that you cast from that power, you're going to have to decide how many sections you're going to break it into and what your number means. So, since we're doing 3 for now, we'll do like 33%, 66%, and then 100%. We'll just have 3 different sections. So, if you get a 33% or below, you'll cast it short, easy, medium, hard. So let's get the easy part done. And then also, if you cast in the easy part in this game, you'll have a chance of catching this guy or this guy. Just do something like this for now. Out here you can catch these guys, which maybe one of them is dangerous. I don't know. Probably might not be the greatest thing to pull a shark up next to you, but maybe you're skilled enough. It'd be a lot of weight. So this is like your RNG table for now. And you can see how you can take this in any direction you want to, really. Make it as complicated or not complicated as you want, for sure. Okay. So this, I'm envisioning a single player game. Just focusing on a fisher's experience, I guess, or giving the player a fishing experience. I'm trying to do that. So what happens after we decide the power? What happens after we get a left click out? So cast left down needs to also check the system. Spreading rules out is something new to me, and it's kind of confusing at this point because I used to try to keep everything together, but you need to keep all the boards lighter so you can have more. But so just thinking about how I'm organizing things is a little, throws me off a little bit right now, but we'll get back to it. So cast left down. It's going to turn the rules off, and then I need to check it. So let's keep that in left click. So we're going to compare numbers. When we get cast left down, we're stopping our real-time float here, our cast real-time float. And so we're going to say if it's less than or equal to 33, then we're going to cast easy. If cast left down says that this float is less than, no, I can't do that. It has to be within a certain amount for this one. Check if a number's within range. Cast left down. So I said equal to, so I have to say can be a, no, I didn't do a float actually. I did a full number, so I can say 34 to 65. No, I'll just say 66. And we're checking this float. And if it's here, we're going to cast medium. And then I can use this one again and say if it is greater than or equal to 67, cast hard. Excuse me. So after we cast, what happens? We sit and stare at the bobber. So I'm thinking that I could use an integer or a float. And we can have it start at 0. And once it starts counting up, you can click on it, and the bigger the number gets, that's like how bad you were at trying to hook the fish in the mouth, and if your bait's gone. And if it's 0, if you click too early, then it's an automatic fail. So it's also part of the real-time events, but left click is going to have a different use at this time. So left click, then you'll be clicking to time the bobber bounce. And that's probably another HUD time real time event, huh? Maybe we can just show all the real time events on the top of the HUD at all times, like just one at a time. And then something reeling in could be just as simple as mashing left click. I was thinking go left click, right click, right click, but just to make it more interesting. All right. So it goes cast easy, cast medium, cast hard. So after it casts out, we have to RNG a certain amount of time between like 0 and 10 seconds. What's the longest amount of time you want to have someone standing there staring at a bobber? 20 seconds? It's probably a little too long. But like somewhere between like 0 and 7 seconds, maybe I'll do. All right. There's a lot of moving parts at this point, even. I think if I'm going to have all this, I'm going to build the 3 other presets quick so we can have the medium and the hard one and everything can get cast out properly. All right, so right now we're using a soccer ball, and it is our placeholder for a bobber. So let's lower the trajectory. 13. 12.5. All right, so I went with cast, easy fish go. Try to use these messages. All right. So this would be like a medium projectile bobber, and your presets are never going to be perfect. So just having 3 presets to save over, that's not bad though. You need to change them up in the future. And then we're going to do the hard one. That gets cast out the farthest. It's like 16.2. 16.1. 16? Okay. Cast hard fish go. Okay, so we have at least 3 placeholders here. We just need some more presets. Or, I don't mean presets, I mean asset spawners. So there's the easy bobber, the medium bobber, and the hard bobber. What bait? Well, worm's all I got. I think I have collisions on these, which made it stop. So I go no collisions, and I'll even put it up. Well, that might change it up. So let's put it up 0.5 or something. easy. Medium, right on 66. Hard. All right. All right. So something I need to do for sure is this is gonna have to be toggled off. Initially it's on, but it toggles off. With these messages. Or just an easier one. So since we don't have the loop of a full fishing cycle done yet, after I cast it once, I shouldn't be able to cast again. Unless I kept that in the rules, obviously. Casting system. I sent it to the rules. Let's just send it everywhere. So now I can't cast right now. That's an easy way to do it, is just toggle it off. Long term, what I'll probably do is put it into the rules so that you get some sort of banner that says, yo, your fishing pole is busy right now. So you'd have to have more fishing poles or just finish this system first before it opens up again. For now, we'll just use a toggle. So we're determining a time between 0 and 7 seconds, I guess. I feel like this should all be together, but I'll probably need more boards over time anyway. We'll do this the bait. This is gonna be the eventual bait system if you want to keep it. So the next real-time event that would happen is your bobber, waiting for your bobber to go off. So let's make a variable. Actually, could you just reuse these? We could probably just reuse this stuff. For sure. Because we've already used it for the cast. But I do need another variable for the RNG. So You can use time or numbers for things, but I'll need a time eventually. So let's just call it the RNG bobber time. Cast left down can start this timer. So let's roll a random number. When we get cast left down, let's go ahead and roll a random number between, I'll say 3 and 10. And that's going to be your bobber time, which is the time. Yes, so I can do that. And then RNG bobber time start. We'll add a rule to this. With time start timer, we got our bobber message. So we're going to grab our bobber time. Wait. And that's also bobber time? Okay. Okay. Can't stop the message. It's inevitable. RNG bobber. I'm using go this time, so we'll say go. RNG bobber go. So RNG bobber go, I better set up its own variables for sure. Instead of reusing these, I'm setting up different ones. I'm going to use just an integer. Bobber real time. So once we get bobber go, that's when we start running it up to like 100, I guess. And if it gets to 100, then you lost the fish. So you can play with the numbers to make it go up faster, but you use something like continuous math here. And I'm pretty sure I can reuse real time. I can reuse that variable because I'm done using it. Add subtract number continuously. So this would be bobber go. And then we're going to grab bobber real time. Like minimum 0, maximum 100. We'll go 1,000 again. I'm going to try to say that this is going to be left down bobber. And so we'll also need a rule in here that is comparing numbers. So when we get cast left down, we're also going to start looking at your bobber real-time number and checking for when it's greater than 100. And if it is, then it's going to be like a kill message. Cast kill. To just kill everything. And you'd probably just like lose a worm then if you kept going with this concept. Okay, so I need to make left down bobber accessible to me with my left click board. So mouse input. This is a new input system, I guess. Go down here like this. And hopefully I can say that cast left down. Whoops. Time bobber. Pull. I don't know. So this message is left down bobber. Unbind. Left down bobber. So it only works once? And so then, yeah, we check whatever kind of things are going to do. If you time something better, you can give yourself more luck maybe or something. Which we'll probably work on next time. It's getting pretty late into the stream. But let's see if we can just get the numbers working at least. So left down bobber. So that'll turn it off so we can at least see the number. But then what happens after that? Well, the way I usually do stuff like this is I load the RNG before the game starts so that it's already ready when it needs it. So maybe we can build like a simple thing like that. On player join next stream and just like kind of plug into it and finish up this game concept. I need to also play with the HUD so you can tell that you're now doing like your bobber stuff. I'm not watching any of the other variables, so I have no idea. So on player join I'm using as like a way to test right now. So I can say that I want to keep an eye on all the variables. So let's say that one. RNG bobber time. Bobber real time. And then so on cast left down, this HUD would change over to bobber real time at a positive. And then RNG bobber go. RNG bobber go. Animate this to a warning. How about we start with default and go to positive? You can make it as complicated, or you can make it as complicated as you want, really. You know, for sure. But for now, let's just do this and then like duplicate. So what did I say? It was a kill message, cast kill. Just keep it simple for that. Like the base message, and we're going to make this so you can't see it. Cast kill. Cast kill. Also, let's take a look at the presets again quick here. So all these presets are essentially the same with different messages, so I can select them all and change them at the same time. And let's have this turn on message. So this was the bobber go, RNG bobber go. And the kill messages are going to be the bobber, the left down bobber. Okay. And then we just need to save them all individually again. So you can copy the name and search for it to make sure you get the right one. Or just look, make sure that's the hard. And then you click on the hard one, save over it, delete it, and then get the last one, which is the easy. Delete it. All right, let's see how this is working at all. We'll get it cleared out next time. Bobber real time. I don't know, but I was just messing around at the end there. But yeah, we'll definitely keep going with this next stream and get it a little better ironed out. But I think we have a pretty good base here to get working on the back end table and stuff like that next time to determine the RNG. Why is that? Because I forgot to rename it. Went up to 1,000 and stopped the bobber real time. I think it's pretty much working. What's up, Novel? Good to see you. Working on the fishing game. Is this because I just didn't retitle it? In the HUD here, bobber name download. Bobber. But it should get shut off when it gets to 100. That's what's throwing me off. Hmm. So we're counting down. Now it's going to go up quick. I'm supposed to click it. So I stopped it at 90%. But it's not quite resetting right. But yeah, it's essentially working. You cast it out with your power, and then it waits a certain amount of time for the bobber to go off. And then you should be able to pull it. I'm pretty close though. Next time I stream, we'll zip right through fixing this part up. Be catching fish in no time. I promise next stream we'll be catching fish in no time. So I guess that could reset this for now for me too. Turn back on. So left down bobber also needs to give me a reset. We're pretty close though. I promise. I appreciate everybody hanging out. Novel, reach out anytime. I'll hit you up. Everybody else, I appreciate you. Closing up here in a few minutes. Oh, I missed it. That might be a little too tough. Let's just go to 2. Oop, there it is. Cast kill is the only thing. Left down bobber stops the rule. Maybe I can say left down bobber with that too. So close to having a little loop. That doesn't quite work, but it would be looking cool. I'm trying to finish it quick. Click it out there. Bobber is going to go off. Bobber, bobber. Saw the splash. I can cast again. Decide the power. Full power. Bobber still have 42 because I didn't wipe it out. That makes sense. So you got to set that back down to 0. So I should be catching fish here, which we haven't set up the RNG for the fish yet. I don't have the bobber back down to 0. But for some reason, it won't shut itself off. But I can get it to turn itself off like that. With clicking. All right. Is anybody streaming? Let me check. Much later. Yeah, I'm not gonna be streaming much later. But I wish I could raid you. Maybe next time. Chaz Wolf, thanks for hanging out. It has been interesting. Working on games from the very beginning, I don't know. It's the most fun part for sure. I'm trying to make my games more about the experience rather than just the RNG delivery of it. So whether you be more interested in this game type, which this is a single player game that's more about like the mechanics of fishing, or if you want a multiplayer game that's more centered around the database. But now that you can send stuff to the SP Asker, you can probably do most of this stuff in multiplayer too. It's just more complicated. Keeping things in single player, you can really do everything you want for sure in single player. Multiplayer, there's always weird things you have to do, and it's a lot more work usually. There's somebody in the sandbox category. Hmm. But they're not playing sandbox. But they have played sandbox. You can rate them. What the heck? All right, cool. All right, sounds good. I'll be streaming more often just because I have a lot of stuff for Misty Mountain that we're going to be working on for next Builders Challenge. And if anybody else has things that they want to work on, like for example, when I get this logic, kind of having fun with it, my plan is to duplicate this logic and send it off to anybody who wants it. And this stream was because somebody reached out and asked a question. So if you have any questions or anything, um, yeah, just reach out and potentially your question can be why I'm streaming. So, all right, I love all of you very much, and I will talk to you later.